Democratic National Convention wrapped up this week. That's where Vice President Kamala Harris accepted the nomination.
I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
Harris calling on Americans to chart a new way forward for the country. In her speech, she argues that her personal story and background as a prosecutor make her uniquely qualified to take on Republican Donald Trump.
You know, our opponents in this race are out there every day denigrating America, talking about how terrible everything is. Never let anyone tell you who you are. You show them who you are.
Harris finished her speech by encouraging people to get out and vote. Joining Capitol Review is Sarakshi. She is the Director of Audience Development and Head of Social Media with our media partners at The Hill. Sarakshi, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Well, as you know, the Vice President accepting the nomination this week. How do you think the American people accepted her speech, and did she strike the right tone?
This was an extremely pivotal speech for her campaign, having run this last-minute campaign to be the Democratic nominee. She really had to go in and introduce herself to America. She is the vice president. They have heard of her over the last 4 years in the Biden administration, but this is her striking out on her own. So what we really saw from her speech was her pitch to America. She introduced herself. She shared some of her family history. She spoke about her mother and the influence her mother had. But she also spoke about her previous jobs as a prosecutor, as, the attorney general, and really hit home the message that she is for the people, which is something that she and her campaign really wanted to make. And they really wanted to hit back at some of the Republican messaging so far in the election. And that's really what we saw from her.
What else stood out on her speech that you think may have resonated with voters?
She spoke a lot about the middle class and her upbringing. She said that she worked at the McDonald's. She talked about, her parents not coming from money. She spoke about, just how her parents had to work really hard to give them this all-American life. She's a daughter of immigrants. So, she really hit home that messaging. But I think what really resonated was her inverting a lot of the Republican messaging in her speech, which wasn't very long. She really flipped the script at the convention on some of the GOP attacks. She talked about how, the Democrats appeal to common sense. They appeal to blue collar workers, and instead of really, going along with the attack lines where, the Republicans have painted her as this kind of liberal, she really, tried to pitch herself as this regular, just a blue collar kid coming from a blue collar family who once again understands what middle-class America is going through, and that's something that really resonated with the voters.
She made some comments about her opponent, the former president, Donald Trump. What were some of the things she said?
She really used her time well to hone her attacks very carefully. She gave a very disciplined speech. She stuck to the script. Now, that has been a talking point. We've been hearing from Republicans who have wanted former President Trump to really stick to the script in some of his speeches for this exact reason, because, her attacks on him were very disciplined. And she, called him unserious. She went after him as someone who is a felon and used her background as a prosecutor to really prosecute her case against him. That's what we saw her do in her speech. And, for someone who hasn't really spoken to the public since she announced her bid for presidency, she laid out her case against him very effectively. And we saw, from former President Trump's reaction that some of those attacks did hit home. They did rankle him a bit. We saw his interview with Fox News, halfway through her speech that lasted just 10 minutes, with hosts Brett Baer and Martha McCallum trying to interrupt him and try to make a point. we did see and hear from him in that phone call where he was a little bit rattled by her comments.
Sarakshi, how would you compare the DNC to the RNC at this point?
Well, having been to the RNC, it was all about former President Trump. The party is really the party of the former president. And it was just everyone coming together to really put their support behind the president. Whereas at the Democratic National Convention, we saw from the stars of the Democratic Party, the Obamas were there, the Clintons were there. We heard from some of the governors who are newsmakers themselves, like Gretchen Whitmer, like, in the roll call, we heard from Gavin Newsom, we heard from Mark Kelly, we heard from Josh Shapiro. So, there was a lineup of these very stars in the party that was a visible shift from the Republican Party. And I think that's something that, the Dems really went off on. They went off on their star power to kind of say that, look, we have former presidents, we have former first ladies, we have, this next line of Democratic stars who are on our bench, for future elections. And that's something that was really a striking difference. And at the end of the day, it was just a party. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the videos of the roll call between the two, and we heard from Meghan McCain as well on Twitter about just the vibes at the Democratic Convention, which was more of a concert, more of a party atmosphere, whereas the Republican Convention was partly all about business.
Sarakshi Rai, thank you so very much for joining us.